People trust HTTPS sites because they're used to seeing it when buying stuff online. You need to gain the trust of your readers to sell them stuff. If they feel you're shady, then no one is going to buy anything from you. You're starting on the wrong foot if your site has HTTP and not HTTPS. This is one of those little mistakes that can have a big impact on every aspect of your blog. The visitors of your blog will think that it's sketchy, and so will Google if you don't have it on HTTPS. Simply put, if your blog is HTTP, then change it ASAP. Before you create a post, you should write an outline for it. You don't need to be over the top or use some kind of fancy software. You might think about writing out your subheadings first and allowing the body of your blog to flow. What you're trying to do here is avoid going off course. Even seasoned professional bloggers tend to talk about things that are off topic in their blog posts. It's vital that you stay on topic so that your readers will follow what you have to say. Google scans your text to see what your blog post is about. If you stray too far away from the topic, Google won't have any idea what to rank your post for. When Google doesn't know what to do, that's when it doesn't rank your content. Google won't go out on a limb and try to guess what your blog post is about. It figures if you're not clear enough, then there's no way a reader will understand what your post is about. Google is right in that respect, and that's why you need to pay close attention to stay on topic at all times. The article in your mind should have structure to it before you begin typing. If you feel that you're straying too far off from the subject, then go back to your outline. Make sure that you're not talking about something unimportant or totally off topic. You can create a separate .doc file for your outline or even use Notepad and keep it simple. You need to have the ability to go back and forth from your outline smoothly. If you have a computer with more than one screen, you can put the outline on one of the other screens so it can be used for reference at any time. Some point down the line, you're going to want to monetize your blog. That means you'll want to make money off of it. Some of you will want to use ad networks and get paid on a per-click basis. This is a good way to make money as you don't have to sell anything. The problem is, most of these networks are very picky about the sites that they accept. So, you're going to want to keep this in mind when creating your content. Always try to remember that the goal is to make a profit, and your content should appeal to the masses. If you're offensive, then ad networks aren't going to pay for clicks on your blog. Are they? Well, it depends on how you want to monetize your site. If you're going to go the route of trying to appeal to as many ad networks as possible, then yes, it is. You will probably want to use more than one ad network on your site to increase revenue. The networks that pay the most are the ones who are the strictest. You always want to remember that you're playing by their rules. You have to create content that doesn't break those rules. If you're ever in any doubt, ask the network that you're trying to monetize your traffic with. Don't mistake this as saying that you should be very loose and not target specific niches and keywords. It means that you should realize that your audience is diverse. You want to be very careful not to offend anyone. Be cautious of the language that you use and how you talk to the readers of your blog. Be mindful of your words when responding to the comments left by readers. They too are in some way part of your content. Your job is to turn your content into a money-making machine. The best way to do that is by not crossing any boundaries of your readers or advertisers. Did you know that some plugins make WordPress run slower? You always want to use as few plugins as possible on your blog. Sure, you're probably going to want to use a few plugins to add functions that aren't already in WordPress, but you want to use as few as you possibly can. If you can do something by changing your theme or from within WordPress, then do it. Sometimes bloggers like all the added features of a plugin, but don't realize the impact it's having on their load time. Let's say that you have a new plugin that you'd like to try, and you're not sure if it's the right thing for your site. You can always set up a test site and give it a try. For this exercise, you may think about getting one of those cheap extensions that cost $1 or less on sale. The test site won't serve any purpose other than to see if the plugin will cause your site to slow down. Most hosts will allow you to have more than one website with your hosting package. If yours doesn't, then you can get a cheap hosting account elsewhere for $5 to $10 per year for testing purposes. You never want to go by your own evaluation if a plugin has an impact on the speed of your site loads. You could be pulling the page from your cache, and if that's the case, it will load abnormally fast. You should routinely check the speed of your site with a third-party service. Some of them will even give suggestions on how to speed up your website. Though, if you just installed a plugin and your site is going slow, that's more than likely the reason why. Plugins are great for adding functionality to a WordPress site, though they can wreak all kinds of havoc with your page loading speeds. You can thank spammers for that. There was once a time when the links from blog comments carried some weight. If blog comments are your sole plan for SEO, then you're in for a bumpy ride. It's not going to work, and you'll need to think of some other ways of getting links to your site. You also have to understand that any website that allows you to use anchor text other than your name for your comment is going to be loaded with spam. Those are precisely the type of sites that you don't want your link on. Did you notice we didn't say that leaving comments was totally useless? There is still some value in leaving comments on the blogs of others. The primary benefit is that you'll get known in the community. You'll be on the radar of other bloggers, and they too will read your blog. More importantly, they'll comment on your posts and hopefully build a relationship with you. The goal here is to make as many connections as possible within your niche. Blog commenting is a great way to do that if you regularly add insightful comments. You don't want to seem like you're spamming other blogs with the hopes of getting a backlink. No blog owner likes it when people do this. It feels cheesy and lazy. It also feels like you're trying to pull one over on the blogger. Only post a comment if you have something of value to say. If you don't, then leave it at that. Not every post a blogger writes is worthy of a comment. Stopping by and leaving your link for the sake of doing so is a huge mistake. If you feel that you absolutely must try to get a link through a comment, then ask a question. Read their entire post thoroughly and ask a question that will play on the expertise of the blogger. You'll find that bloggers like it when people ask thoughtful questions that show you paid attention to their article. This is a great tactic, but only make sure that your question is a good one. You will need them to approve the question and then reply to it. Several blog posts could be written about how to use the pixel provided by Facebook and Google to retarget the people who visited your blog. What is retargeting? It's exactly what it sounds like. Retargeting is when you show advertisements to people, reminding them of your site. The leading problem bloggers have is people returning to their blog. Retargeting reminds the reader that they were at your blog. You see these ads all over the internet. Advertisements like these seem to haunt you everywhere, but it's because they work. Retargeting works because the person has already been to your blog. They've shown an interest in what your niche is. You also need to understand that you're not paying for new visitors to your site. You are only targeting those people who have been to your site before. The return on investment with this traffic can be higher since it's been heated up. By that, we mean that they aren't cold and brand new to your site. If you're not in the mode of making cash off of your visitors, then it's a bad idea to go this route advertising. It's best to do this after you've established your blog and see a little money rolling in. If you sell digital products with super high profit margins, then it's even better. You have more of an incentive to retarget your visitors in hopes that they come back and buy something. Those who are promoting Amazon products, for example, may have a more difficult time justifying the cost of advertising. If your blog has no traffic, then you've got no one to retarget. You will have to wait to build up some traffic, so there's someone to advertise to. Allow your blog to get traffic and then put this plan into motion organically. It'll take some time to figure out what type of ads to run to get the best click-through rates and conversions. The most common mistake bloggers make is they see the world as their blog and nothing else. They don't realize that both the readers of their blog and Google needs to see them as an authority. Also, you need to be seen as an authority to the other bloggers within your niche. If you aren't, then no one is going to take you seriously. There are no shortcuts to building authority, and the only way you do it is by proving yourself. There is no other way to gain the respect of the public. Not only do you want to be visible, but you also want to interact with others. Give out free advice and talk to people who are within your niche. If your sole focus is your blog and nothing else, then it will fail eventually. You have to build up an audience for your blog, and the only way to do that is by getting your name out there. It can't be stressed enough that the general public has to see you as an expert on what you're talking about.